On my end of the fence, I'm big on quality. I need to discuss and make sure this pet is okay, and we're getting proper pain management because
for sure,
it's invasive.
It's simple math, right? At the end of the day, all jokes aside, it's simple math. If you paid $100 and the blood work exam at cost, right? When you're going to a HESCA or an IDEX, or
they don't know what that is.
Right?
Yeah,
showing I got some clout.
Yeah, he got.
But like, when you're going to these guys and you're at cost, these things cost $80, $90, $120, $180, depending on what test you're running. How can I give you that service? Like, how can I give you that service at $100, and I'm supposed to run $160 worth of lab work? There's no way I can do that, so I didn't do that.
Plus, okay, you're going to scam on IV catheters, right? Again, pain management, IV fluids, everything that goes into this case from a management position, they're cutting corners, right? So I don't want to cut corners there, and that's what a lot of people don't understand the value when something's $300 or $500 for something routine. Yeah, but it comes with some good pain management and post-op care and discharge instructions. I'm communicating with you, right?
Right.
I'm making sure your baby recovers very quickly because I know everything in between 0 to 14 days, which is your recovery period, a lot can go awry, and I want everyone comfortable, mainly, especially your dog or your cat.
So all those things lead into, if those things are being covered, that's good. So the natural assumption is bad is if it's poor hygiene, right?
Absolutely.
Doesn't look good.
Horrible smell.
The guy doesn't have the proper credentials.
Rare, but it happens.
It happens to humans. They go down to Mexico to do it. I didn't say that. I was just talking about geographically. I've heard of it. Never mind. Anyways, then you have.
We ain't talking BBLs. We're not talking BBLs. Not like that. Just calm down.
Everything has a lower cost. That might be an indication that something's not going to be good.
Yeah.
Right. They're doing no lab works.
No communication.
No pain management.
You don't know what's going on. Matter of fact, a lot of times in cases like that, you don't even see the doctor. You drop them off and you pick them up whenever.
Got you.
Without an e-collar.
Yep.
And if that dog goes to town on its incision,
done.
And they're eating intestines at the end of the night because they opened everything up, whose fault is that?
But you're going to tell your buddy next door the price was right. And so you got to bring him back into the emergency room
at 2 in the morning.
At 2 in the morning.
And I got to fix it for probably $5,000.
There you go.
Depending on the trauma.
An hour later. It's like that candy. An hour later.
Okay. I like that. Okay. So here's the thing. At the end of the day, I think in summary, you really want to have realistic expectations for what you're looking for.
Why are you making me?
I'm talking to you.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, do you
agree?
Like
I was doing it.
But do you agree, though?
I know these things. Absolutely.
Yeah, but they don't.
I actually didn't know until we did this show, but now I know these things.
You got to factor in your pet's needs, right? How old is this animal? Is there other things under the radar that's in lieu of the actual problem that you see? And let me do my job as a veterinarian because that's what I do. I do this every day, twice on Sundays. It's important for me to correlate to you what's going on with your pet because this may be its first physical exam and major procedure in 7 or 10 years. So we got a lot to play catch up on. And that's no shade, but you got to understand why I'm doing what I'm doing to make sure your pet is in its best, safest space before we do anything.
So we're not going to listen to our homie next door with the pit bull.
I don't recommend it. You can. I'm not telling you not to. I just don't think it's a good idea.
Unc is your homie next door. You should listen to him.
And that's what happens. Or Dr. Google. I mean, you got to make sure you understand what's going on, man. A lot of shoulda, woulda, couldas, and that's where a lot of people go to the state boards for reviews because communication wasn't correlated and you had a false sense of expectation as the client. And that's not fair to the pet.
Right. And you got to mitigate. Even if you do everything right and everything's happening, there's still some mitigating factors, right?
Yeah. A couple of them. I mean, you got to consider, was this animal already under some, kidney issues or liver function issues? That's going to dictate what medications I'm going to put on this animal. Pre-op, post-op, all that matters. If I don't know what I don't know, again, I don't want to set anyone up for failure. And it's not my pain, it's not your pain, it's their misery.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
That's important.
I know you got to make sure that you can isolate the pet later if it's necessary. I know you want to make sure that you have the proper instruction for post-op.
Yeah. And you have to tell people a lieu of times, not just once, put that e-collar on. I got to say it. I got to put the animal in the e-collar, actively show them what I'm doing, how to not take it off. I have to have my reception tell them what to do. And I have to have my vet technician tell them what to do.
I keep mine on all the time.
And I know you don't. I know you don't. And it only takes 1 or 2 minutes of your time to take it off. You go into the bathroom, and that dog is fully loaded on its abdominal incision. It can be itchy, not even painful, but healing process is an itchy procedure as things are coming together. and that's going to cause some concern. And if it's not them directly, let's say you did your job. It's a multi-pet household, another thing to consider. This is your best friend, Lucy and Ragnar?
Yeah.
Lucy got the procedure, but Ragnar is going to town on her incision, servicing her in every way, shape, or form, because I'm your best friend too when daddy's gone. And I see here's that weird thing around your head. That's
Let me
weird.
help you.
I got you, sis. And now they're doing it. So, I mean, a lot of vets don't understand that. I mean, you got to ask those questions, right?
Right.
I don't want any complications. I want you to have a very straightforward procedure, and I want you to love everything we bring to the table and value.
There you go.
Yeah.